Boom. We're live. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Lions TV, if you are in with me now, at the minute it's saying there's no one following. Yeah, there's people watching. Neil Harris has gone, resigns as Millwall manager with immediate effect. Dave Livermore has also left the club. I just said to Mini-Me, I feel nervous now. I've got anxiety about it. It wasn't what I wanted. I swear, I promise you, it wasn't what I personally wanted. It is what I wanted from a team perspective, but fuck me. He's actually done it. And you know what? First things first. I'm in total shock. That goes to Neil Harris for doing absolutely the right thing and resigning at the right time. I am absolutely gutted. I truly am gutted. I just said to Mini-Me, it's fucking horrible. It's a horrible feeling. Jesus Christ. I don't know what to say. I just saw the news. One of my mates messaged me about 5 minutes before it was announced and said, I've heard a rumour he's gone. I didn't believe it. Then a club statement. I had to check it was the actual, the real official club Twitter feed that put it out. Neil Harris resigns with immediate effect as Millwall manager. Dave Livermore leaves the club. Adam Barrett is in temporary charge for Saturday's home game against Leeds. And as I said, it's something's not been right. Something's not been right. I don't think the players want to play for him anymore. They haven't helped things, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I could just, I honestly, hand on heart, didn't know anything, but I could just tell by the way we performed at Blackburn, something wasn't right there. Something wasn't right. And Neil Harris has done something that I didn't think he would. And for that, I hold my hands up to Neil Harris, a fantastic manager. Look at his stats as our manager. You can only point to his stats and what he's achieved in his short space of time. And from an outsider looking in, you might be questioning why Neil Harris has done what he's done, but it had gone flat, it had gone dead. It was done. And the players didn't want to play for him. He tried 4 different formations in 4 games in a row, which was very anti-Neil Harris tactics. And he's gone. The fucking great man has gone. But listen, in my eyes, he leaves as a club legend. He's done absolutely the right thing. And for those saying he isn't as Millwall as we thought, I think this proves that he absolutely is. Last night's game was the first time you heard chants of Harris out. Shit Harris, boring Harris. Again, this is just speculation from me, and this is just my personal opinion. I don't think he would have liked that. Well, listen, no one's going to like that. Let's have it right. I think he could have woke up this morning and thought, fuck that lot. After all I've done for the club as a player and as a manager, that's the sort of response I'm getting, which arguably, he has the right to say. But I am genuinely, 1, gutted, 2, anxious about it. It's made me really nervous. But 3, I don't like change, but this change was needed. And again, once again, I hold my hands up to Neil Harris for doing what he's done and walking away, in my opinion, at absolutely the right time. I know this is not about me. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I called it. I could just see something wasn't right. It was obvious. Something wasn't right. If you know what you're looking at on a football pitch, you could just tell, the clientele changed. 10 players in from last season, different. But Mahoney, can't get near it. Mahoney, a shadow of the player he was. Thompson played well last night, but a shadow of the player he formerly was. And it's disappointing. It is disappointing. I didn't think he would resign. I thought he may have, try to turn it around at Leeds, but maybe listen, this hasn't happened overnight. Don't make no mistake about that. Neil Harris said in great depth in pre-season, a 4-year cycle, a change of players was needed. And, maybe a change of manager was needed. And now that's happened. We started off the season very well. It's very quickly petered out, and it is going from bad to worse, in my opinion. I did hear a rumour he had 2 games to save his job. And obviously those 2 games, I put a video out. It's currently a video uploading to go out tonight, which says, from a Neil Harris argument, point of Harris in a pro-Harris point of view, 2 points from 2 away games maybe isn't the end of the world. But the great man has gone. But listen, football clubs carry on. This is a business. It carries on. And as I said before, chairmen, players, managers come and go. The only thing at this club that is forever and at any football club is the fans. And I give full credit and respect to Neil Harris for not only giving us what he's given us over the last 3.5 years, the channel's never known another manager. Neil Harris has been the manager the whole time that Lions TV has existed. But I'll take my hat off it. I'll take my hat off to the man for walking away when he did. Fair play to Neil Harris. I know I've not always been his biggest fan, especially in the most recent weeks, and him not mine, definitely. But always polite, always, did what he could around the club. Took us to, brought us back from the brink, really, under some couple of shit managers. And now we are tasked with the very difficult job of trying to find the right man that will fit the profile that we're looking for. The only slight shame is, and Kieran's just put it on the Lions TV WhatsApp group, is that the Cowleys are available. The Cowleys have now gone. That would have been my ideal opportunity and chance and choice of a first replacement manager. I have heard, again, it's only rumours, and maybe I shouldn't be saying what I'm saying, but just rumours around football, non-league footballers that I know and I've heard, that Chris Hughton is very interested in the job, and I'll take him all day long. Obviously, other names that might get thrown into the hat is Steve Morrison. A few people are saying Paul Robinson. That they're not at a stage yet where they're ready to be taken on the Millwall side. We need now a manager that now Neil Harris has guided us to be in a established championship club again, which really is what we are now, 3 seasons in and not sitting too terribly in the league. We need someone a little bit of a disciplinarian, I feel, a little bit more of an older head, a little bit more of a tactically aware manager. Chris Hughton, for me, I've already sniffing around it, and for me, he would fit the bill perfectly. Obviously, not only a proven manager in this division, but he's managed to take 2 clubs up in Newcastle and Brighton onto bigger and better things. Sorry, you might be able to hear my washing machine going. This isn't my usual setup. Mini-me's laying on the sofa. We're just sitting here, just come back from Hernando's. I said to him, my mate's just texted me, said Harris could go at any minute, or he has already resigned. And wow, it's fucking happened. Listen, Neil Harris was a legend as a player, and in my opinion, a legend as a player. Did what he could for the club in difficult circumstances in the very early stages of his career as a manager. You can't argue with it. 2 Wembley appearances, 2 FA Cup quarterfinals, and a promotion. And, finished 8 in the Championship, kept us in the Championship last season. He's tried to change it this year. It hasn't worked out for him greatly. But, yeah, listen, now the man's out the door. Give him a round of applause and fucking build that statue, because he has done absolutely the best thing for Millwall Football Club at this time, in my opinion. There will be mixed opinions over that. And now I'm going to read to you a statement from our chairman, Mr. John Berylson. And JB has said the following on the club's official Twitter. Here we go. I'm just finding it. Sorry. I'm genuinely shocked. I'm literally fucking a little bit horrified, because sometimes you've got to be careful what you wish for. But in the long term, I think it's absolutely the best thing. Neil Harris has today stepped down from his role as manager of Millwall Football Club, and his assistant, Dave Livermore, has also departed the den. Harris took over as boss in 2015. During his time in charge, oversaw 2 trips to Wembley, 1 promotion, 2 runs in the FA Cup quarter-final, and he has steadily established Millwall as a championship club. His status as a Lions legend, both in all-time leading scorer and now as one of the most successful managers, is secure. Chairman John Berylson said, "Firstly, I would like to place on record my sincere gratitude to Neil for all of his hard work, commitment, determination, and inarguably success as manager of this great football club. During his time in charge, we have achieved so much, and so many of his greatest moments as manager will live long in the memory of Millwall fans, fortunate to have seen and enjoyed them. Neil's achievements ensure that he is listed alongside some of the club's greatest ever managers, furthering his legendary standard at Millwall. Alongside his coaching staff, Neil worked tirelessly to establish a culture both on and off the pitch that was beneficial of the club's history and heritage, and he has undoubtedly been achieved. He has laid tremendous foundations from which the club continue to build in the months and years ahead. Neil's name is synonymous with Millwall, and he has always had the very best interests of the club at heart. I don't doubt that personally either. Managing with great pride, honour and integrity, and he departs with the best wishes of everyone connected to the Lions. Both Neil and David Livermore will leave their heads held high forever, the friends of the club, and I wish them both success in the future careers. They will always be welcome at Millwall." That's the end of John Berylson's statement. And then the club go on to say that Adam Barrett has been placed in temporary charge of the first team affairs and will lead the side for Saturday's game against Leeds at the Den. The club will now conduct a thorough recruitment process for a new manager. No further comments will be made at this time. If you're just tuning in, Neil Harris, as you probably have now already seen, has resigned with immediate effect as manager of Millwall Football Club. Wow, I honestly feel like crying, and I know it's something that I've been calling for, but just the as John Berylson rightly said, the legacy he's created at Millwall. You won't find many people that will play for a club and then try and go back and do it as a manager, and then if they do pull it off, walk away at exactly the right time, and you can do nothing but praise Neil Harris for that. Someone's on the comments. I'm just seeing there's a lot of comments there, and I will go to the comments in a minute. I said this yesterday. Sorry, Mini-Me's alarm for his YouTube video just went up and it put me off. What I was saying, Neil, I said in my pre-match the other day that that I forgot my train of thought. Sorry, it's actually blown my mind because I didn't think it was going to happen. I wanted it to happen because I thought it was the best thing for the club, but I honestly didn't think Harris would do it. Southend still haven't got a manager. I'll be very surprised now if you don't see Neil Harris go to Southend. I think that'll do him less pressure, not the pressure of a level of expectancy from the fans. Not only that, a smaller club with bigger levels of expectancy than we've got. But last night is obviously the final straw for Neil Harris. It's a strange time to resign right before the Leeds game. But listen, as much as it hurts, as much as he was a club legend, as well as he done for us, I promise you that this is the exact right time for him to go. It'd gone stale. It'd gone flat. And I said, sometimes in life, there's nothing you can do about that. It just needs a change. And again, full respect to Neil Harris for realising that and walking away at exactly the right time for the club. And listen, hopefully himself, hopefully he didn't feel the pressure of needing to go. Hopefully he felt it was the right time to go. Wow. Can't believe I'm saying these words. Once again, Neil Harris has resigned as Millwall manager with immediate effect. And Adam Barrett will take charge of the home game against Leeds on Saturday. Jesus Christ. Wasn't expecting it. I was just about to go out the door, so I'm going to be late for a meeting I was supposed to be going to. But, yeah, where do we all stand on it? Harris in, Harris out. There is literally hundreds and hundreds of comments flowing. Lewis Mitchell says, crazy. Charles Woolard says, what the fuck? Horizon Gaming says, Harris out, mate. You've got your wish. Archie Worrell, how's it going, mate? You're right, Arch. Who do you think we will bring in? I think Chris Hughton could be a very strong possibility. A lot of people are labelling Steve Morrison. Obviously, Paul Robinson's at the club now, but I think that won't be the way the club go this time. It proved to work under Harris, but I think that we will go with someone more experienced in this division. Chris Hughton is very tactically a good manager. Not one for youngsters. Hamiri prefers older, experienced heads, which it could be fine. Listen, I think we got the makings of a good team. The thing is, you could see this wasn't coming because otherwise, one, they'd have got rid of Harris earlier. He would have walked earlier. We could have approached the Cowleys, a job I think they definitely would have taken, being local to Millwall. And the players that we let Neil Harris buy in the summer, 10 players came in. No fewer than 10 players. And I don't think that they would have done that if anyone would have seen this coming. But obviously, I don't know if the very recent pressure. Listen, as early as last night was the first time we'd ever heard Harris out. Anyone chanting at half time, and it was a very small minority. I thought the players come off the pitch last night with their heads held high. I did think, and I've said in the video that I've now had to cancel uploading to throw to this live stream. It was a video that I felt, I did think that yesterday there was positives to take from last night's game. I really did think that. And I'll say in the video that I will still put out that I feel that, hopefully Neil Harris can turn it around now, but maybe he didn't think he could anymore. I'm not personally pinning anything on Conor Mahoney, but to bring in players like Mahoney, who are good players, wanted by other teams, and to see him fall so flat on his arse, doesn't look interested. And just the style of our play. The manager coming in, we're not expecting him to be Jose Mourinho. We're not expecting to be flying under him. But what we are expecting is for him to be able to roll aside and go at teams. We seem to go backwards under Neil Harris very quickly. The season we finished 8th in the Championship, we went for everyone. We come up with no fear. Okay, we was maybe riding a wave of fresh promotion. But we came up without fear and we just continued to plug away the only way we knew, the Millwall way. And that was to just keep on teams, keep going at teams, show no respect, give everything we've got for the shirt, for the badge, fight for each other and for the manager. Be intense, high pressing. And over the last 2 seasons, this season especially, going to Blackburn and just sitting there and just waiting to see, the inevitable, just waiting for teams to break us down and score goals. It's not the Millwall way. And there we go. Ricky Dobson says madness. Pat Shield says he's gutted. Mate, I'm gutted as well. Horizon Gaming says, thank God. Harry Jones says he had to walk away, not change his ways. Well, he could have attempted to change his ways. You're right what you're saying, H, but he didn't really have to change his ways. He just had to reinstall the ways that we played when we first come into this division. We wasn't playing like we was when we first come into this division. We had a worldie at Nottingham Forest on the first day. We could have scored 10 like that at Nottingham Forest. We played brilliant. Since then, Millwall based forever, Millwall have based their whole ethos on kick, bollock and bite, snot blowing, gum showing, getting people's faces, being tense. We might not be the best team in the world, but we'll give the fans a team to be proud of, a team that fights for the shirt, a team that fears no foe, a team that shows no fear and just goes for it. And we've just been cowering. We've not been like lions. We've been cowering like lion cubs in the last few days, just scared in the last few weeks to go and attack teams. And it's not good. I will get some shit for this. I fully accept that being a YouTuber that is quite well followed around the club. But listen, these things run deeper than YouTube. These things run deeper than the last 2 results. I could see something wasn't right. And again, hand on heart, I know nothing. I actively try to avoid finding stuff out because I know it could get me in trouble. So, Neil Harris, gone, resigns as Millwall manager with immediate effect if you're just tuning in. Jesus Christ, I actually can't believe it. I'm tingling. I'm worried. I'm nervous. I'm upset. I'm disappointed. I'm relieved. All in one. So many emotions. Jordan Jacobs says he was treated awfully. The thing is, for the people who think that it should be Harris in and we should back him blindly, I think by resigning, he showed that that you're not right. This is football. This is business. No one is bigger than the club. And unfortunately, because Neil Harris, it worked in 2 ways for Harris. It worked well for him to get the job as a Millwall legend, to show us the way and achieve what he's achieved. And listen, you cannot argue with what the man has achieved. But towards the end, it was starting to work against him because people were letting their heads be ruled by their heart. And it was crazy times. Unbelievable. Very, very upsetting. I'm genuinely upset. I'm disappointed because he is a club legend, and I don't want him to feel, and I'm sure the other fans don't want him to feel like he's left because of abuse. Because listen, this could go on for months with some managers, and he's very quickly seen that. I think he may even come out and say that once he realises that it's not what the fans want anymore, he has to walk away. And he has walked away absolutely the perfect time. And for that reason, as I said, Neil Harris will go down in my book, not only as a club legend as a player, but a club legend as a manager. Lewis Tucker, what the actual fuck? Colin Johnson says, shocked, mate, but it's been poor. Danny Sinclair says, to be honest, you all got to be fucking mugs. Well, there you go. But there's in the next comment, the Hugh Gills says, thank fuck, get in. New Den Lions, thank fuck. Lewis Mitchell, gutted, mate. Lee Rose, gutted. Danny Poor, legend, best thing, long live the king. Well done, Dan. Perfectly put. Perfectly put from Danny Poor there. Yes, he's a legend at the club, and now you can, for those saying, oh, fuck him, he's a Southend, lives in Southend, he's a Liverpool fan. I think this has proven that he has walked at exactly the right time. Archie's asked me who I'm going to bring in. Chazza Richardson and EIO in through his front room. Who is available? This is the thing. And for these people saying, oh, come on, who's going to want to manage Millwall? Trust me, they will be queuing up. For the comical side of it and just for the lunatic turnout that Millwall Football Club is, I'd love to see Roy Keane in charge, although he's not a proven manager. Just the aggression and the cult hero status he would get as Millwall Football Club manager, I would like to see Roy Keane get it. I think he hasn't succeeded in the past as a manager at other places, but I think he absolutely could at Millwall. Excuse my bonnet, by the way. Fluffball, what's going on here? Who else? Gary Rowett, more clubs than Tiger Woods. Sam Allardyce, done in football. Chris Hughton, I take all day long. Steve Morrison, not ready for it. Paul Robinson, unfortunately, not ready for it just right now. The man, the myth, Neil Harris is king, but there isn't a previous king, and his name is King Kenny. Struggling at the minute at Portsmouth. They're not doing fantastic under their near brush with promotion through the playoffs last season. Kenny Jackett, I don't think to come back to a club a second time would do him any favours. I think KJ did his bit at the club, and now, like Neil Harris, walked away at exactly the right time. For me, I'd go with Chris Hughton. He's saying it wasn't 3 weeks ago. I'd go with Chris Hughton, or I might be tempted to take a chance on Roy Keane. As I'm saying as well, I've said this many times before, don't expect to get it right first time. Do not expect to get it right. We are now in, and promise you, for a relegation dogfight. It will not get any better than 20th all season for us now. It will take a new manager time. A new manager primarily comes in, gets a result straight off the bat and rolls the troops. But we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle this year now. But under Harris, I'll be honest, I thought we was already doomed. I didn't see a way back. And fair play to him, as I said, if he's seen that. But we are in for a long, hard season now. We need to get behind the new manager. It won't happen overnight. Having said that, I am excited to see players like Ben Thompson, to see players like Marlon Romeo, to see players like Conor Mahovey thrive under a new manager. The new manager's not going to have, he can't do anything until January. He's got to work with the players he's got. But it'll be interesting what the new manager makes of it when he comes in, and his take on things, who he thinks formation-wise will fit in where, and which players will be favoured at the club. Listen, it's all in now. It's all in. If it's an old head manager who might not fancy youth, you might be finding players that might... a new manager might prefer you. If you could see younger players get their chance now, you could see other players playing in positions. Wow. Let me say the words again in case you've just tuned in. We've been live for 21 minutes. But if you're wondering what the fuck's going on this freezing cold Thursday night, Neil Harris has resigned as Millwall manager with immediate effect. Dave Livermore has also left the club. The club have released a statement thanking Neil Harris for his time at the club. Says he's welcome back at any time from the club, and he will always be regarded as a legend and welcome back at the club, and rightly so. Neil Harris, legend as a player, legend as a manager, did fantastic for us. It wasn't always pretty, but he's got the record and the results and the accolades to prove it. So well done, Chopper. You walked away at the right time, and thank you for everything you did on behalf of myself, and I'm sure a lot of other Millwall fans, what you did at Millwall Football Club. Listen, it was turning toxic. Let's have it right. The players weren't playing. They weren't responding to what he was doing. He had run out of ideas, and that's why he was playing 4 different formations in 4 games. But yeah, I genuinely feel gutted he's gone. And he wasn't my greatest fan, the gaffer. I can tell you now he's left. Well, he didn't mind me at first, but he didn't fucking like me towards the end for some reason. So, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because he is a Millwall legend, but he is gone. Hopefully now, listen, in everyone's best interest, we get a new manager in that does the business and lets us start playing a little bit of entertaining football and doesn't let us go to Middlesbrough and places like that, Blackburn, Huddersfield, Luton, and just sit and defend. I felt that last night there was positives to take, but at the same time it was papering over the cracks. And yeah, hopefully this will turn out best for everyone, because last night, again, Neil Harris could have pointed to 2 away points in 2 away games. No easy games in this division against a team in Luton that had just been promoted from League One, and against a team in, I forgot who we played last night, Huddersfield, the other day, who had just been relegated from the Championship. He could have pointed to that. He could have alluded to that fact and said, look, come on, this is 2 good points, no easy games in this division. But he hasn't done that. He's walked away. Was he walked before he was pushed? I guess we'll never know. The club will put out and be very clever with their media, like any club would be. Nothing against the club's media, before anyone gets on my bollocks. But yeah, you got to do things in the right way, even if it wasn't as it seemed, which I'm not suggesting it was for a minute. Neil Harris walks away with his head held high. Hopefully, he can go to Southend if that's what he wants to do and get a job there and be happy there. And Southend, he's proven to get teams out of League One, so he's got a good record. He'd be perfect for Southend. We'll get a better manager. It's not just the results and it's not just the way we've been playing, in my opinion, but also let's look at players that he's brought in. Ben Thompson couldn't get a sniff, went away to Pompey, come away a rejuvenated fucking lunatic, and then he's slowly tailed off, although Tomo did very well last night. Marlon Romeo, for me, I've been saying it a long time, is not a right back, yet he played persistently as in a right back, as in a 4-4-2, and caused us a lot of goals last season. He finally dropped Marlon Romeo, but he dropped Marlon Romeo on the day he decided to go 3-5-2 against QPR, which would have suited Marlon Romeo a lot better, and put in McCarthy. And then when we went back to 4-4-2, he dropped the better defender out and put Marlon Romeo back in. I think Marlon Romeo will thrive at Millwall. I really do. Other players, well, Bolkowski's on loan. The back three or the back three centre halves, fine. Don't have a problem with it. Other players, listen, a player. I'd be wrong if I didn't bring it up, and I'm not looking for a witch hunt here. But Nigel, where the fuck have I got Nigel from? Ryan Leonard. No, I don't rate Ryan Leonard. Ryan Leonard was the club's all-time record signing. A baton passed to him by Paul Goddard, I think in 1990, which is an £800,000 signing. And that hoodoo has lived and floated and hovered over our club. I was going to say Paul Goddard, but I don't probably think he gives a fuck. For a long, long time, 28 years, something like that. Ryan Leonard comes in, clearly out of his depth. Friends with Neil Harris from Southend. I heard they travelled in together to training, which will make it more difficult. And it wasn't up to it, but the manager persisted with playing him. He goes, listen, that's just my opinion. Again, maybe I'm wrong. But he's gone. The biggest one I want to talk about, of course, is Conor Mahoney. Conor Mahoney started in football very young. A young bright spark at Accrington, played in the first team, sort of 15, 16. Got to move to Blackburn. Had a couple of good years at Blackburn, learning his trade. He then went to Bournemouth for a big fee because Bournemouth and Blackburn couldn't agree on that fee. Mahoney is a good player, technically very good, gifted, young, exciting, attacking. When Neil Harris signed him, he said he's got something that we haven't got, someone who's direct, someone who runs at people. And we saw at Birmingham last year, he had one of the best cross ratios in the division. Young player of the year at Birmingham. Birmingham obviously couldn't buy him themselves because it was under a transfer embargo. But now he signs for Millwall, scores against Real Sociedad, bends one in the stanchion, puts a cross on a sizzling platter for Jed Wallace opening day of the season when we win 1-0 and then tweets something like, "How'd you like your eggs, sir?" to Jed Wallace. You could see he was into it. You could see he bought into the Millwall way. Seemed happy at the training day. Mini-Me's new favourite player, had a good chat with him, seemed like a real good lad, happy to be there. And since then, Neil Harris has come out and said, and to be fair, I don't think Neil Harris has dug many people out, but he's dug out Conor Mahoney and said, Conor Mahoney is sort of, he's not doing what I signed him to do. He's not up to it sort of thing. Since then, Mahoney's dropped out the side, come back in against Huddersfield, didn't look great, give the ball away for their goal. Started the game last night, got yanked after 45 minutes. It doesn't look like he wants to run down the wings and get those crosses in. Looks like he's half a yard slower than he was. Maybe he's not allowed to run down those wings and get the crosses in. Maybe Conor Mahoney's fault. What the fucking hell have I signed for here? This isn't what I signed up for. I got told I'm going to be a winger. Get down and do what I do best. Cross balls into the box. Not tuck in behind the forward central, waiting for the knockdowns off a 6'8" centre forward. So yeah, as I said, mixed emotions. Disappointed. I don't like change. I don't know if there's a term for that. Excited, gutted for the manager. That's good. That's hand on heart. Gutted for the manager. I feel nervous. I feel anxious about it. I've got a little bit of anxiety about it all. Butterflies in my stomach, and that's hand on heart. I'm not just saying that. In my opinion, Neil Harris had to go, and I voiced my opinions. If anyone thinks that I had any influence on him leaving, you got to be fucking mad, because it doesn't work like that. He's a very strong character, strong-minded man, and fair play to him. And he will be, it would be his decision, no one else's decision. Maybe he didn't like some of the abuse he was getting last night. As I said, I feel at times that his ego could get in the way. But listen, if he's got an ego, fair play to him. You need those sort of players. You need players and people with self-belief. I've got a lot of self-belief. Maybe people think I've got an ego. You've got to, if you're in a sort of position Neil Harris is in a public eye, you've got to have skin like a rhino. You've got to be prepared for what's coming, the abuse you may get. And listen, when Neil Harris took the Millwall job, it would only end, one way. It was either him succeeding and moving on to bigger and better things as a manager, him being an Alex Ferguson-style manager for 20-odd years and just, then retiring, or getting sacked or having to leave. Was he jumped before he was pushed? Who knows? I don't know. If you're just joining in, it's half an hour into this live stream and you have no idea what is going on, I'm going to say the words that I didn't think I would be saying anytime soon, if ever. Neil Harris has resigned as Millwall manager with immediate effect. Dave Livermore also leaves the club, and Adam Barrett will take charge for this Saturday's game against Leeds at the Den. See, Chazza Richardson is one of Neil Harris's biggest critics, and he's been on me for a while for not being on his bandwagon and his side of the story. But he's come rightly now, says, "Thank you, Neil, legend." Danny Sinclair, your message has been held for review, but I'm going to show it. It says, be very careful what you fucking not wish for. Dan, at what point, where did you think we was going under Harris? That's a question I'll ask you all watching now. 487 people. Where do you think we was going under Neil Harris? Because I only think it was going one way. Lewis Mitchell says he was jumped before he was pushed. Thomas Gadsby says, good luck to you, Bomber. Yeah, Colin Johnson, it would have been worse if he'd have been relegated. And that's exactly right, Cole. And the thing is, it was turning a little bit last night. And again, listen, whether it's Harris in or Harris out, there was no need for bad feeling. He took it as far as he could. And by resigning, he's made that statement without actually having to say it. As I said, keep saying, I will keep repeating because people are joining all the time. 4 different formations in 4 games in a row. We didn't change formation 3 times in the previous 3 years. So that tells you a lot. Players not playing. Players absolutely not playing. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what happens next. The club will obviously not have to move too quickly. Adam Barrett is in charge for Saturday's game against, as I say, and then there is an international break before our next fixture, which I believe is on the 19th of November away at Brentford. Goodbye to a legend, says Ashley Harris. Surely no relation. Ricky Dobson says Chris House-Houghton or Roy Keane for me. I agree. Charlie Woolard says jacket in. Johnny Pick, thanks for everything, Neil, and good luck. Charlie Richardson, fuck off Barrett. Get Tim Cahill in. That's a name I obviously haven't mentioned. Listen, Tim Cahill came to the club and he was a revelation without actually kicking a football. And I think that speaks volumes of what he can transfer just from his attitude, his nous of football and his experience of being on the pitch and being every day in and around the changing room. Tim Cahill, wow, I'd do a backflip to the den now if I could, or I could do a backflip. I'd love Cahill, but Cahill, I believe, is based pretty much in New York. Well, his family is, and he travels all over the world, Kev. He's one of the busiest fuckers you've ever seen on Instagram, on social. He loves work. He loves his pound note. Fair play to Cahill. He's building a legacy off the pitch. He's got his own brand, doesn't he? He's got children's books. As I said, he's based in New York. He's now working for Sky. He was doing something else the other day at fucking a university in America. So I don't think he said Neil Harris. I don't think that Tim Cahill would want the job. Would I give Tim Cahill the job? He'd be at the top of my list. He'd be at the top of my list. But I don't think, having never managed, he'd be a long way off it. Wow. 520 people now watching. So I will just repeat myself for those who may have just tuned in. If you have just tuned in, you probably know what's happened by now, but I will repeat it because I cannot believe it. Neil Harris has resigned as Millwall manager after 3.5 years in charge, taking us to the Championship, 2 FA Cup quarterfinals, Wembley twice, and now establishing us sort of as a Premier League Championship club. Players in this. He said he had players that didn't want to play for the club. I think in the last few weeks he's found a few more, and I think he may look at that now and think maybe it wasn't the players, maybe it was me. I know it's nothing to do with Fred Onyedin with this stream, but Fred Onyedin was flying at Wickham. And I can't help but think that players like him could have done a lot better. But yeah, wow, Neil Harris resigns as Millwall manager. It's massive news. I'm actually not sure what to do at the minute. I just sort of thought, first port of call, put the camera on. Alex Mann, yes, goes down as a Millwall legend. Mill HW, I hope we get that old Brighton manager. I think you mean Chris Hughton. Mark Jack says, listen, who's actually going to do well and come in and do well with our budget? Pardon me, our budget. Well, we have no budget, that's for sure. He's got to work with the players he's got. As I said, 10 new players in the summer. He can't do any transfer dealings until the window opens in January. But for these people saying that, people want to manage Millwall, are you mad? Well, the closest club to the fucking centre of London, a big club, potentially with big investors waiting in the wings with Husky. I now wonder if this will now pave the way for John Berylson to also leave the club. And if Husky buy it, this could turn to be a very, very positive move for the club in general. Charles Stoworthy, good on him. He's realised the need is beyond him. Good luck to him. Let's hope we all get at least a good manager. We're going to be for one game, and I fully expect for the club to... Sorry, that's just gone unstable. Are we back in? We're back in. People are trying to ring me, sorry, and it's cutting off the connection. Gutted it didn't work out and send us to the Prem. Well, listen, David Selwood says he's gutted it didn't work out. I would say it absolutely works out under Neil Harris. I would say it absolutely works out, and he did a fantastic job. And he can leave with his head held high, and he leaves with me thinking that he's more of a man than I already thought he was. Done it as a player, done it as a manager, reached his potential as manager. Things needed to change up. Mate, I've called this 2-3 weeks ago. I could see it. Since the Blackburn game, I've been saying, if you watch back my old videos, something's clicked inside me. Something was not right at Blackburn. And if you can see, if you know football and you've been around football, and you could just see something more than football was going on there. And sometimes, listen, it happens. It just needed a freshen up. There's no need for bad feeling. Harris in, Harris out, doesn't matter. He's now gone. And it will be a long, hard season under whatever manager comes in. And we may not pull it off under the first manager that comes in. But, wow. There you go, boys and girls. I will say those words one last time before I wrap this up. Neil Harris has resigned as Millwall manager with immediate effect. Dave Livermore also leaves the club, and Adam Barrett will take temporary charge of the team against Leeds at the Den this Saturday. It makes Leeds bigger than ever, doesn't it? I'm surprised Harris has gone before the Leeds game. I thought he might have tried to turn it around at Leeds. Leeds, obviously, 2 seasons ago was the turning point in our season at home. 2 seasons ago away, again, was the first away win, which again set us on the beginning of that mad run. So I'm not disappointed he's left. I think he's done the right thing, but it surprised me a bit that he didn't hold on and try and keep that, maybe use that little bit of Leeds momentum as he has done before as manager of Millwall to swing the pendulum back in his favour. I don't think he would have liked what he heard last night. I don't think he would like what he's seeing on social media, not just from me, but other fan outlets, other people have, we're all seeing the same things, unfortunately. And last night, I think that may have got his back up a little bit. I may have been wrong, but I think last night, with people chanting boring Harris and shit, and Harris out, I think that may have rolled him a bit and got his back up and sort of, I think he may have thought to himself, fuck this, fuck them, after all I've done as a manager and a player, this is the abuse I'm getting. But he's done the right thing to turn, and he's done the right thing before it turned and got toxic, should I say. So, wow, there you go. There's only so much I can say on it. I'm on the way up the Elton Terrace Club now. If anyone wants to come up there and meet me, I'll do another live stream and we can have discussion on it, and we'll try and get something going up the Elton Terrace Club tonight and have a chat. Maybe I'll go live again when I get up there. I don't know. Maybe I'll reflect on a few more statements. But for now, that is it. I'll leave you with news for the last and possibly 10th time during this stream. And I still can't believe the words are going to come out of my mouth. Neil Harris has resigned as Millwall manager with immediate effect. Adam Barrett will take temporary charge of the club in time for Leeds game on Saturday. And Dave Livermore, bless him, has also gone with Neil Harris. Different times at our club. The Millwall fairy tale carnage storyline continues and the search begins for a new manager. I'll be on it throughout the night. I'll keep in touch, and hopefully, as I said, I'm on the way up the Elton Terrace Club now. I may even go live when I get up there. If anyone wants to come and join me in the stream, I'm open to it. So let me know, fire into me on social. Long live Neil Harris, legend as a player, legend as a manager, walks away at the right time. And for that, Chopper alone, I thank you, as I'm sure a lot of other Millwall fans do. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.